This is Tammy C. Walker, the owner of Dreams Are a Reality. I created this channel to provide light and love. How you all doing? I'm doing good. Just had some Chinese food. Now I'm feeling sleepy. But I had to get on here and talk about spinning the block. This is pertaining to Ashanti and Nelly, and not only them, other couples. Hit that like button, hit subscribe. Thank you. Thank you. The divorce rate in America is 40 to 50%. And I'm just going to say this. You can agree or disagree. It don't really matter to me. I think some people do not know much about relationships. He's an ex for a reason. And so all this shit about downing your ex and they are a bad person, she a bad person, he a bad person. Okay, let's throw that out right now. If it was a toxic person, an abuser, a cheater, no. Who wants them then? Who wants them again? But we're not being all the way honest. Some of us, this don't apply to everybody. How were you in the relationship? Did you show up? Did you give your best? All of us are guilty or can be guilty. Or a lot of us can be guilty of not knowing how to love, not knowing how to receive love, not being selfless, not selfish, selfless. Somebody in the relationship is giving 70%. Somebody else giving 10. Somebody's giving 100. Somebody's giving 0. Somebody's doing the bare minimum. Somebody's using the other. Sometimes we outgrow each other. There's a lot of things happen in the middle. And so it's easy to dump somebody or ghost them or whatever this 2025 stuff that people do. But it takes a real man and a real woman to stick it out and work it out. And sometimes, guess what happens? People break up. And guess what else happens? They get back together and it works. Because sometimes you meet someone, you're not in a good place. They're not in a good place, or you're immature. They're working on their career. You're in school. It's a lot of stuff happens in the middle. Mama passes away. Daddy passes away. A sibling passes away. Somebody gets sick. Somebody loses a job. People talk like this stuff is linear, like everything is gonna be perfect. Let's talk about Ashanti and Nelly. That couldn't be me. I wouldn't have no man that's not gonna help me with my baby. She crazy. How do you know what your man gonna do until you get him? How do you know what your man gonna do until you get married? How do you know if your man will even be there after you had a baby? And sometimes women, what you do is say, I don't have time for him. I got to watch over the kids. I feed my kids first. You just throw the man to the side because you got what you needed, the baby. Because you all know that's listening, is some women, they become really fixated on having a baby. That's all they think about. And they throw that man to the side when the baby comes, but they forget without the man, they couldn't even have the baby. So it's a lot in the middle. And so spinning the block and getting back with an ex, it's not always negative. These are, to me, people that keep making those statements. You had somebody super toxic, or you're not being all the way honest too. Maybe it was you too in that relationship. I can look back. You all know my age. I've told you all over and over and over. I'm in my 50s. I've been married. I've been engaged. I've been divorced. I've been in long term. I've been in short term. So I got experience under my belt. It was some of those times, it was me. Not in a good place. Maybe kind of too busy sometimes, but not really meeting the matches that I felt I matched up with. But it was sometimes I was like in a toxic, negative place. So I wouldn't have seen or known a good man if he popped me in the face. And it was a time when I had this guy. He was a real sweet guy. He was attractive to me, not typically my type, but he was a good looking dude. But most importantly, he's a good dude. And I just couldn't get into him because my heart was stuck on this toxic relationship that I was in and on and off again with. But I'm just saying all this stuff today to say we got to do the work on ourselves. We act like people are like so quickly replaceable that, oh no, X this, X that. Yeah, you all know my story that listen to me. I had a bad experience with an ex, and I would not go back to that ex because that was a very unhealthy, dangerous situation. But it's a couple of other exes, not too many. Let me just not lie. Yeah, I know what y'all saying. But anyway, let me continue. I done got in too deep. Probably wouldn't go back to pretty much any of the exes that I had, except one. That window is definitely closing up too. But there are situations, I have a dear friend that had a situation where she was with somebody he wasn't doing right, woo, woo, woo. And then he cleaned up his act. Yeah, it took some years, of course, but they ended up getting married. A second situation where both were, showing some very unhealthy behaviors, their own stuff. It wasn't an individual. It wasn't a couple thing only. It was individual things that they were doing, bad habits, and they had to clean themselves up and, get back together and grow and mature. And they've been together 30 years or more. I think there's another couple, and I can't remember them for right now. Oh, I know when I worked at this company, it was a couple that had got a full-fledged divorce, got back together. Last I heard, they were still together years. So these things happen where people do break up and get back together. Now, with Ashanti and Nelly, I'm not going to put my mouth on them. Oh, she made a mistake. Well, okay. So that's on them for putting their business in the streets. I wouldn't do no reality show. Just live your life, smile, get on stage, sing your songs. And to be honest, I'm not trying to crack on either one of them. Those songs are 20-some years old, and people still paying to come and see them. And Nelly stuff is like timeless. I like Ashanti music too, but Nelly is really, I'm more of a bigger Nelly fan than Ashanti. But I'm just saying their stuff is old, and people still are coming out to see them. I think they're very fortunate and very blessed. But personally, I'm going to put my business in the street. But if he don't want to change the pamper, if he don't want to do anything with the baby until, the baby is 2, let me see, August 1st, Nelly and Ashanti probably not going to pay my rent. So that has no bearing on me. I don't care. They look happy. They're smiling. What she'll accept, I probably wouldn't be too happy with some of that. Maybe not. I don't know. I only saw maybe 2 or 3 episodes. I don't even want to watch the rest now because everybody's so negative. Not everybody, but people so negative. It just turned me off. I just think we need to learn relationships are complex. This guy is touring. He don't have time to change Pampers. At least he feel like that or whatever his story is. They don't live a normal life like me where I'm, I have my own practice and I work remote like 3 or 4 days a week. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'll be going in my office. That's a little bit more of a normal life where if I was married, me and my husband, we could share the duties. Maybe he's not really going to be around enough to change the pamper. Maybe he being lazy. Maybe he's 50. He don't want to do that. I don't know. That's them. If she's smiling, if she like it, I absolutely, positively love it. I just think, again, people are not being realist when it comes to these relationships. It's not what y'all think. You think it's just come home, kissy, jump on a plane, you go to Hawaii, you go out for dinner, you go dancing and bowling and top golf and having fun. No, it's bills, it's ups, it's downs, it's people get sick, people pass away, people lose job, kids acting up. You got to take kids to the basketball games, to practice. You working 12 hours some days. You're a nurse. Somebody's a doctor. Somebody's in school. Somebody's getting a certificate. Somebody's getting a degree. Somebody tore their rotator cuff. Somebody tore their ACL. Somebody fell. The car broke down on the highway, on the expressway in busy Chicago. Life be lifing. And it's not fun and giggles all the time. It's heartache sometimes. What my dear friends say is no heartache like your child breaking your heart. So for people that talk all this stuff like relationships are easy and they wouldn't do this and they wouldn't do that, divorce rate is 40 to 50% because we have not done that work on ourselves. We don't even know ourselves. We don't want to be in it to win it. There are some people that are toxic. We got to believe that and remember that. Sometimes it's us. The word narcissist is used every 5 seconds, so we don't know who is that, but they do exist. People exist with a lot of demons sometimes, and it's unfortunate. But if you could do that work on yourself and do that G work, have growth, you can come back and spin the block, and you and that person can get back together, and it could be greater later. But if you take a negative approach and think you know everything, that's why they shouldn't, X is X for a reason. I just think reason why people don't have love these days and the reason why people are alone, they have a negative spin on it. They don't believe in love. They damaged, they hurt, somebody hurt them, and then they take that negativity and put it on the new guy. They put it on the new lady. Everybody's suspicious. People are in fear. Somebody gonna get me. Before they get me, I'm not gonna get got because I'm gonna get them. I'm a therapist. I hear it all day, every day. I hear it a lot. And as a woman that's single, I get it. I get the fear. The fear is real. But you gotta still have faith. You gotta have hope for love. And in the meanwhile, in between while, before you do spin the block or recreate the block or go on a new block, you got to do the work on yourself. And what does that look like? Reflection. What did I do wrong in the relationship? Was I kind? That's a huge thing. Being kind, respectful, honest, consistent. These are big words that can carry your relationship a long way. Selfless. Are you respectful? So for me, you treat me kindly and respectful and be consistent, we can get real far. Because some of the ways that I'm hearing that some people treat each other, it doesn't make any kind of sense. And that's why people are exes, because they be done something so toxic, they couldn't come back from that if they wanted to. If you treat somebody really bad, by the time they get away from you, they never want to see you again, unless they are very unhealthy themselves. But in closing, spinning the block is not bad. We don't go back to abusers. We don't go back to cheaters. We don't go back to mean and nasty people. Why are you even mentioning that? But if you had somebody that was decent, and I think we need to be more honest, yeah, that was a decent person. She was decent. He was decent. If the opportunity presented itself, that is somebody I would talk back to and just see. And that seems to be what happened with Ashanti and Nelly. 10 years went by. That's a long time to mature. You reach a time in your life, you should, men, where you don't want to die alone. You would like a good partner. Women, sometimes we want to have babies. We want to get married. And it sounds like possibly that's what happens. It may not be your way. You might not agree with him and the baby situation. But is it any skin off your back? If they like it, we love it. God bless them. God keep them. Ain't got no bearing on Tammy Sharice Walker. I just happen to like them both, and I hope and pray they make it. But in the meanwhile, I got to worry about me over here. Tammy C. Walker signing off.